Kindy Rockstars. Prepare for a treat, let's meet and greet some bands and singers that are super sweet, making music that's fun for boys and girls. Help them learn about this great big world. Fun for the family, yes it's true, your kids will love it and you will too. Clap and dance and sing aloud, become a part of the Kindy crowd. These songs will make you move your feet and give your ears a great big treat. So settle in, grab your guitars, and let's get to know our Kindy Rockstars. Hello everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. I am here today with Pierce Freelon. Pierce, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got into Kindy music.
Sure. Well, I am a native of Durham, North Carolina, and I grew up in a musical family. My mom is a jazz vocalist, and so I grew up, like backstage at concerts and doing homework at music venues and hanging around musicians. So, my mom's music was jazz, which, when I was a kid, I thought was like old people music. And I was really into hip hop. Love listening to like Nas and Queen Latifah and LL Cool J when I was a kid. And then I grew up, I became a parent, and that's really what got me into Kindy. I became a parent, and not only was I a fan of hip hop, but I'm also a hip hop artist and write raps and, beatbox and make beats. And when I became a parent, that's what I wrote about. I wrote about buckling your seatbelt in the car. I wrote about getting the kids to go upstairs to brush their teeth. I never thought about releasing any of these, songs. You don't see me in the podcast, but I'm using quotation fingers. Songs. They weren't like fully formed ideas. It was just like, hey, kids, everybody upstairs to brush teeth. Kids, everybody upstairs to brush teeth. It was just like a tool that I would use to get my kids to do stuff that they were supposed to do. And, as a parent, you got to get creative. And one of the ways that you can get your children to remember things is to sing a song about them, is to make a beat and make it fun. And almost, it's like a Jedi mind trick. It's like, and all of a sudden they think they're like having a party, but actually they're doing a chore. They're picking up clothes, they're brushing their teeth, they're getting ready for bed. And so it was kind of like a Jedi mind trick to get my kids to do what they were supposed to do. And, during COVID, when the virus first hit and I wasn't able to perform, I wasn't able to travel, everything got slow, and I kind of looked inward and found that I had like 50 songs that I wrote over the years. Probably actually, honestly, it was closer to 300 songs now that I think about it. And these were song ideas that I would, whenever I had an idea or created something, I took out my phone and I recorded a voice memo on my phone to kind of capture the lightning in a bottle. And, I was able to revisit that in 2019 a little bit, but really I finished my first album, DAD, right after COVID hit. And yeah, and from there, the songs just felt so good. My kids loved them, and I shared them with some friends, and there was just a lot of excitement to have this album of tunes that I wrote, inspired by my dad, who had just passed away, and inspired by my kids. So I put out DAD, which is my first children's music album, in 2020 in September, or July rather, just July 30th. And then, a couple months later, I had my next album, Black to the Future, which just came out in April. So it's been a beautiful 2 years, two albums, really 1 year, two albums. I'm coming up just past the 1 year anniversary of DAD. So, but two albums in 1 year. It's been, yeah, fun to see how the songs are received and to see it resonating with so many families. And just got to perform. I went out to Wolf Trap in Virginia and performed for an audience of families, and they knew the lyric. It was just wild, to have written these songs and released them, and people show up. Some families came all the way from New York to come see me in Virginia. I was like, wow, this is really happening. So anyway, that's how I got involved, and it's been a wonderful experience. The Kindie community has been very awesome to get to know.
They are.
And
They
so
are
I
a great group
feel,
of people.
yeah, it's been great.
Now, do you get your kids actively involved in the song making?
Sure. I mean, Patrick, you're a father, and um, over the past year and a half during COVID, it's impossible to get work done without your kids around. Like just now, like literally 2 seconds before we started this interview, I was like, kids, it's time for bed. Like, lights out. And it's been like that every day for the past year and a half. And that's just been the nature of quarantine. So, you know, my kids are totally involved. Half the time they're sitting on my lap while I'm recording, or, they're bopping in to interrupt the recording process. I've got, a microphone and speaking on a laptop. We have the technology now to have a studio from home. So it's been really cool creating from home and getting my kids involved.
Now, have you ever thought of doing children's books, or have you?
Yeah, well, interesting story. I had lunch with Joni Leeds recently, and she won the Grammy for Best Children's Music Album this year. And I was telling Joni about this book. I'm writing a book, or I've written it already. It's called Daddy Daughter Day. It's based on the
Hmm.
song of the same name from my first album. And she kind of asked the story of how that came about. And really, it was, when my album DAD came out, there was a big NPR story about it. And I mean, the day after that story ran, or the day of, even the morning of, I was just getting inundated with phone calls from friends and family, from celebrities who found me on Instagram and were like, "I love your music." Jennifer Garner hit me up in my
Nice.
DMs. She was like, "You're awesome." I was like, "No, you're awesome." And a book publisher, Little Brown Books, had heard about me from the NPR article, and they said, "I think Daddy Daughter Day would make a great book." So had some conversations with them and my manager, and so now I'll be the book Daddy Daughter Day is coming out on Father's Day of
Excellent.
2022. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Now you have a bit of a unique job, and I just want to ask, how does your musician side blend with your politician side?
Sure. That's a great question. Yeah, so I am a member of Durham City Council. That is like my day job. And I'm a public servant, so I'm a politician. Um, that's what I do, and you know, I bring my full creative voice and presence to my role as a city councilman. There's no distinction. I don't like tuck my locks away and take my earrings out and put on a suit and tie. Like, I show up as I am, and I bring the creativity that I bring to art to my service to the city of Durham, which, as I mentioned, I was born and raised here. I've lived here my whole life. I care deeply about the community and the people who raised me. And I don't just mean my parents. I mean, there's an entire village of folks in Durham who have poured into me, excuse me. And it's been the privilege of my life to pour back into the community and to mentor young people and to advocate for policies, to legislate, not just advocate, to legislate policies that reflect my values and reflect the values of the communities that I'm accountable to. So it's been great, man. Like, and every day I'm like, today, for example, I had a meeting with the mayor about this guaranteed income pilot. So what guaranteed income, it's the idea that everyone deserves to have enough money to live. Basic premise. No one should be so broke that they can't eat and provide housing for themselves. It's not a radical concept. It's something that Martin Luther King Jr. talked about. But what that looks like in practice is like, we're going to send $500 a month every month to people who need money. And we're going to make sure that they have enough money to live.
Right.
And kids, that I'm sure that's a concept a lot of your listeners would think is a good idea. We don't want anyone to be homeless. We don't want anyone to be hungry, And so that's a policy that I fought for and argued for, and people said, "Whoa, that's crazy. That's socialism. That's, people are going to take the money and they're going to spend it on candy or, something that's not to live." And that's the critique. And it takes a real visionary. And for your kids who are listening, a visionary is somebody who has a really strong, beautiful belief that something beautiful is possible, but sometimes other people don't quite see the vision. They don't get it. So I found that being an artist has helped me be visionary as a politician, because as artists, we're in the business of making something out of nothing. We pull lyrics and songs out of the air, and we create things. So when I was running for mayor and I said, you know what, everyone should be able to eat. And they, well, how are we going to pay for that? How is this going to work? It's like, look, we'll make it work. I'm stating an intention, and we're going to figure out how to make it work. And what ended up happening, how we made guaranteed income happen in Durham, is we got a grant from the founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey. He gave us a big grant, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to try it, to see how it impacts people's lives. So I didn't know when I was saying that we needed it that we would get some money from the Twitter guy, but if we hadn't laid the foundation and asked for it, we would not have been in a position to receive it. And I attribute that to my background as an artist. And I have a colleague, one of my buddies, Mark Anthony Middleton. The only other person on our council who's talking about guaranteed income was him. He's a pastor. And I think, if you look back, especially in the Black tradition, Martin Luther King Jr., and, there's just this long legacy of pastors who are visionaries. They don't talk about where things are, they talk about where things should be. And so I just think it's a wonderful creative quality And we need more creative people in government, because some of these politicians, and I'm not talking about my colleagues in Durham. I think we have a lot of visionary politicians in Durham, but nationally, internationally, some of these politicians are severely lacking in imagination. And that's definitely something we need more of in politics, in my opinion.
I think it's awesome that you have multiple places to influence positivity through your art, through your job. So that's great.
Thank you.
You ready to get into a song?
Oh, let's do it.
The song is called My Body. Pierce, tell us what inspired this song and what it's about.
Yes, this song is about creating consent culture. And, that just means introducing kids from a young age to words like consent, to concepts like body autonomy. It's really, really important. You don't want to wait until they're like teenagers to first start talking to them about their bodies. They might be a kid and they might not want to hug uncle such and such, or their friends' parents or whatever. They need to be able to have the language to be able to say, this is my body and this is what I want to do with it. And that body autonomy, if we equip our kids with that language and that superpower from a young age, then they will be better equipped in adulthood to be able to thrive. So Rissi Palmer, who is a wonderful singer-songwriter, was a collaborator on this song, and it's probably the most powerful song I've ever written. So I'm really, really, really proud of it.
Yeah, this is, I think, one of the best things about Kindie music is the ability to not only have a lot of fun, but it's the messages that is really important to kids. This is a good example.
Yeah, I mean, important to kids, Patrick, and important to adults too. Body autonomy is something that that everybody from 2 to 200 should be familiar with, and it's a real privilege to be introducing folks to these big words and big concepts that will have hopefully a positive impact on them for years to come. Yep.
Parents, definitely share this song with your kids. Here is My Body by Pierce Freelon.
Go ahead.
My rules. You want a hug, just ask and see if it's cool. A high five or a squeeze, they can be alright. But if I'm not in the mood, then that's just fine. If I feel good, I say so. But when I don't, I can say no. Cause my body is my body is my body, my body is my body is my body. My body is my body is, it's not yours, it's mine. My body is my body, it's my body. Your choice. You got a brain and a mouth, so use your voice. Be bold, speak up, don't be afraid. No one should ever make you feel hurt or ashamed. 'Cause when you feel good, you say so. But when you don't, you can say no. 'Cause my body is my body is my body, my body is my body is my body is my body is, it's not yours, it's mine. My body is my body is mine, is mine. Oh, my body is my body is, it's not yours, it's mine. Nah, nah, it's my body, nah, it's my body. Oh, nah, nah, it's my body, oh, my. A CONSE
You don't need to fear, this is your body, no one else tells you how to feel. Here's the deal, you can give consent and you can repeal. This is real, if you need a shield, tell them how you feel. I got body autonomy, body autonomy. I don't want you to talk to me about my bodily qualities, so nobody dishonor me. I got sovereignty over my body, nobody's property, cause I own the monopoly. I got body autonomy, body autonomy, body autonomy, body autonomy, body autonomy, body autonomy.
It's my
That was My Body by Pierce Freelon. All right, Pierce, tell everybody where they can stream and download that song and where they can find you on social media.
Yes, My Body is available on all streaming platforms. You can hear it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, wherever you stream music. Just look for Pierce Freelon. That's my name, and that's also how you find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. It's just first name, last name, Pierce Freelon. Look for me, and you will find some awesome songs like My Body. So thank you.
Pierce, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.